Hello, and welcome to an informative video provided by I Expect Progress, IEP. Let's get started. So today we will be discussing organization for the SPED or exceptional children's teacher, okay? So as you can see, I'm starting out with the Google screen. This will be utilized a lot as far as organizing, especially if you guys are using Google Meet and Schoology or Google Classroom. This will be a very important page. So with Google, you'll be able to access your Gmail by Gmail images. And then this right here is considered the waffle. Doesn't look like a waffle. Maybe it looks like the prawns of a waffle maker. I don't know why they call it that, but it is called the waffle. So you would utilize the apps that are in the waffle that are your Gmail or your Google Suite apps. It will be a very, it would be a very, it would be suggested for you to become Google certified if you would like to add that, to your resume. But I would suggest for you to become Google certified. They have some courses through Mobile Mind that are very informative. And I thought that I was a pro with G Suites and Google apps. I wasn't. I wasn't, but now I am certified. So I think it will be in your best interest as an educator to get into being Google certified so that you can be able to utilize all these great apps that they provide for you. So first, let's go to our Google Drive. Your Google Drive will be your best friend as far as organization because anything that you have, it will be stored here, okay? Any meetings that you have, if you're using Cami, which is another great thing that I will be showing. Also, let me go ahead and say that I am not paid by Google. This is not a Google commercial type recording. It is just me sharing with you what I use to become organized. Okay. Okay. So here in my Google Drive, I like to utilize my folders to help keep me organized. So if I was in the classroom, I would have a filing cabinet, and you probably still use that, and I still use one. But as far as to save up on my printing, but to remain organized and to be able to access all of my documents anywhere I go, I utilize my Google Drive. So I like to make folders. If you click this new tab, when you click it, you can create a folder, you can upload a file, you can do a folder upload. That means an entire folder that you have on your computer, you can upload it. Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Forms, and more. And as you can see, we have the drawings, we have the maps, we have the sites, we have the scripts, and the Jamboard. Now, if you're teaching math and you're virtual, I would suggest for you to use the Jamboard. If you are trying to get the kids to be more creative, like creating logos, or if you want them to be able to design things, I would use Google Drawings. If you have like some surveys or questionnaires that you want to send out, I would use our Google Forms. Did I say Google Drawings and Google Forms? Google Drawings for creativity, Google Forms to basically get a vibe of what you want or to answer a bulk of questions by a numerous amount of people, right? Google Slides. I love to use Google Slides because if I want to present something, I got it. If I want to make a picture and I want to be able to move my words and my pictures around and make a flyer or a poster, I can always do that. I love Google Slides. Then we have Google Sheets, which is a great tool to use when you are trying to keep up with data. Data is very important, as you know. And then Google Docs, of course. And I use that if I need to just write out anything. If I needed to start a student's PLAF, I would use Google Docs. If I am collecting the data that I have from our Google Forms, I would use Google Docs, okay? So let's get started. So we click folder. When you click on folder, you get this pop-up that says new folder. And now this is where you can put what you want as that folder's name. So as you see, I have an IEP folder, I have a products folder, and I also have a mock teacher folder. Right now, I'm just going to make a simple folder just to show you what it would look like, okay? New folder. And what do I want to put? Data. That means all the data that I have, I can put it here. Hit create, okay? Now, let's begin adding things, shall we? So I'm going to click on the folder that I want to add the items to, right? let's say I have an upcoming meeting, and in my upcoming meeting, I have some data to put in about our student. Okay, I'm going to hit new. And if I'm going to do a Google Doc, I'm going to click it, and it's going to make a Google Doc pop up, and you're going to be able to work on this, and it automatically saves it. That's another reason why I love Google Drive. So every time you make a change, it's going to save it. Okay, let me move here. Move the screen down here. So I'm going to be typing because this is someone's IEP. This is some data that I'm going to need. So let's put in, let me click here. Okay. This is math data for Lynn. Okay. Now, right here where it says untitled document, that's where you're going to put your title. And, you know, you like to keep privacy. You don't want everyone to be able to just look at it and say, oh, that's Lynn's math data. No, maybe let's just put L for her name, for her first name, and whatever her last name is. And in this case, it's going to be an S. So Lynn Smith. I like to put in LS and I'll say math because I'll know that when I see this document in data, that this is the data of Lynn Smith's math. Got it? Cool. So here we go. We're adding information, right? We're going to talk about her strengths, of course. Play my spelling. We're going to talk about her weaknesses. When you get that red line, just hover over it. If you have a full keypad that doesn't have a right click or a left click displayed, take a 2-finger click, double click it twice, boom, boom, and it will pop up that extra menu that you normally get when you do a right click. Okay, I know how to spell strengths, but at this time, I guess I don't. Okay, so here we go. We're talking about her strengths. We're talking about her weaknesses. And maybe we're going to talk about some teacher interventions. Maybe the teacher did something, right? Maybe the teacher tried to do some small group. Maybe she tried to do some modifications. She's going to, we'll be able to put this in. And then your observations, right? Because more than likely, you're going to be going in and doing some observations on her. And if not, maybe you're taking observations from your resource room. Maybe you're taking observations when you're working with her, right? Okay, cool beans. So here we go. This right here is telling me about all of Lynn's math. This tells me her strengths, her weaknesses, her teacher intervention, and my observations. I will be able to keep this tab open and go somewhere else and grab information and copy and paste. Right? I know. I love Google Docs. So this right here is it. You see where it says last edit was saved, right? The last edit was seconds ago. If I click this, this tells me what edits I made, the date, the time, everything. Love Google Docs. Okay. When you're ready to leave out of that, when you're done, you'll just hit this arrow right here and it'll take you right back to the document. Okay. All right. So I'll do a separate video that talks about the actual Google Doc itself. But for right now, we're just going to talk about getting organized, right? Cool. So I'm going to exit this out right here. You see it? It looks like it's blank, but if you click on it, it's not. All of your stuff is right there. Yep. It just looks blank in that picture, in the actual clip art. And as you make corrections and fill it out, then this clip art will, change the actual clip. See how I popped up to change? It just shows that, what it looks like. So maybe you don't know the name that you have, but you can look at the picture and say, oh, I know what that is. Okay. So here's my data. Let's go back to the drive. Let me move my face over here. So again, we have our data, we have our IEP, we have our products, we have our teacher mock. If I was you, I would make separate folders for everything, right? So let's start with a caseload. Every teacher has a caseload, right? A caseload are the students that you are the manager for. That means that you manage these students' IEPs. That means that you know their goals, their accommodations, their PLAF, their strengths, their weaknesses, the service times, the services provided, their disability, when they were identified, everything. That's your caseload, okay? It's not students that you are that you might be co-teaching with in another classroom. If you want to put the information in, you can, but if I were you, I would not do that. Also, this folder is going to go on every year. Every year is going to change. Every year is going to be a different student added, and you might have a whole new caseload. You might not. but it still helps you to keep up with your documentations, okay? So we're going to do caseload, all right? Now, my caseload is going to tell me about the actual students that are on my caseload. Open up this folder. Now I'm going to add another folder. Now, if I was to open up this folder and it would be documents everywhere, PDFs everywhere, I wouldn't be able to be organized. So I have to add another folder. And what am I going to do? I'm going to start adding my students, right? Student 1, there's a folder, and add this for each student. Every student that you have, do a folder for them, because all their information can be in one place. So let's say that you might have to change over case managers. That means that I'll be able to take this, do a 2-finger right click if you're using a Mac or a Chromebook, and I will go down to share. When I click share, it will open up everyone that's in my organization. But right now, this isn't my work organization. This is my personal one. So if I want to share this to other friends or other colleagues, because I know that they're about to take that caseload on, all I got to do is just type in their name, and then an email will pop up, share it with them. Okay. Restricted. Only people added can open this link. That means that they're going to receive an email that gives them a link to go to this folder. And if they get this link, they got access to this folder. So be very wise as far as your restrictions, as far as sharing. Okay. Now, you can change it to anyone with this link. That means that they can take that link and share it to somebody else, and take that link and share it to somebody else. But if I share this person, just this person, they can't share it to anyone else. They have to ask for access. Okay. All right. So now we have our students. I'm going to add one more student. Uh-oh. Hit new, hit folder, and I'm going to add another student. This right here is student. Okay. So this right here is student 3. All right. Last student of the day. So now I have a folder for each student. Maybe you're like me and say, I hate to see the same folders, same green folders, same gray looking folders. I need to change it up. I got to add some color. You're going to do a 2-finger right click, and you're going to change color, and you can change it to whatever you want to change it to. This is another way to help keep you organized. You can do this in any folder. You can make all of your assessments red. You can make all of your math blue. You can make all of your PDFs green in the folders. It doesn't matter. It's completely up to you. All right, so these are the colors of my folders. Now, any information that I open up, I can place it in that child's folder, right? Okay, so this right here helps you to get organized with your caseload. Each child is going to have a folder. When you do your caseload, right? Let's change this. Where we have caseload, you need to be able to look at this and say, I know what year this caseload was for. So let's do school year. That's what the SY is for, right? School year. And let's do 20 to 21. So that next year, when I do this again, let's say I have the exact same people, the exact same kids, I can duplicate this folder and just change the year. So then I have all the information from last year, and I can build off of that. So we're going to hit OK. Now, this is my folder for my caseload for this year only. And next year, I'll do the same thing. Go to my teacher mock folder and see, you got that? That's my caseload for that year. And then I'll add another folder for the next year, and the next year, and the next year after that. Okay, cool. So that's using we've done our folders. We've done how to add a document. Now, let's do data. Okay, so in your caseload, each student has their own folder to put their information. Now let's talk about you being organized to be able to keep up with everyone's accommodations and goals. Hit new. We're going to hit Google Slides. It's going to open up a Google Slide. A Google Slide is just like Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, just like it. If you love PowerPoint, you're going to love Google Slides. Yeah. So you use this menu over here to change up the theme that you want. But right now, that's not what I'm worried about. Right now, what I'm worried about is being able to keep up with the goals, right? So we're going to do, these are my school year. These are my caseload. My school year 2021. And I'm going to do goals and accommodations. Okay. Now, this is my first slide. This, if I wanted to print this out, this would be like my cover page, and then I can use it as a flip book. I did it when I was working at CSEP. It worked wonders. You hear me? Wonders. And if you're familiar with working in like a treatment-based facility or a more inclusive setting with the students, or not inclusive, in a more if you're having to work in a more restrictive, the most restrictive setting, then this would be a great thing to use so that you can have it on a clipboard and be able to flip through and know what you need to do, which that is something we need to do anyway as educators, right? So here we go. Now we have James, and he might have different goals, right? Now you can do it all together or you can do it separate. It depends totally up to you. So I'm going to take, just keeps going back and forth. I don't know why it keeps doing that. But anyway, okay. So this is James. And right here, I just want to talk about James math. And this is his math goals, right? So he might have, he might struggle with multi-step problems. He also might struggle with inverse operations. And he might also struggle with comprehending word problems. Okay, so that's what he's struggling with. I don't know why that's doing that. So anyway, I'm going to take this. Now I'm going to copy and paste. Now, when you're using your keyboard, the keyboard is your best friend. Sometimes it gets very frustrating to click this and then go up here and hit edit and then hit copy and then click over here and then hit edit and then hit paste. That's a lot of work when you can just hit. If you have a Mac, you're going to hit Command C to copy or Control C to copy. If you have a regular Chromebook, then it's going to be, it's Command if you have a MacBook, and it's Control if you have a Chromebook. Okay, simple. But right here, I already did it, so I'm not going to delete it. So now that's his math goals. What about reading? Maybe he is struggling with textual evidence, and we have to do that. Those are some goals that we have set for him. Maybe he also have something with context clues. I believe that's the same thing as that. Let's just say comprehension, right? All right. And then let's say that that's it. Let's say that he's just struggling with understanding or utilizing his textual evidence to answer comprehension. And maybe he's also dealing with comprehension, right? These are his goals. All right. Maybe he also have behavior goals. It doesn't matter. You would keep these goals up here so that you can look and see, oh, this is the goal he has. This is what we're working on today. This is what we're working on today. This is what we're working on tomorrow. It helps to keep you in a flow. So you don't have to sit down at your computer and say, oh my God, what was his goal? What was his goal? I got to find it. I have to log into the system. I have to log in and see what I can do. I got to find this goal. You already have it here. It takes a lot of work to build this up in the beginning of the year, but it will save you time throughout the year. Okay. You might say, Ms. Nola, this right here is giving me a whole bunch of paperwork that I don't want. Yes, it does, but it keeps you consistent and it keeps you concise. It keeps all of your data here at your fingertips where you can work on it and still move around in your class. So then when you need it, you can just come here and print it. Or if you need it, it's already on your clipboard. You can write it, make notes. You can add it here, or you can add it to the data form. It doesn't matter. So here we go. This is James. This is math goal, and this is reading goal. So now I might want to put a table so I can see when we worked on these goals. So we're going to go up here, hit insert. I'm going to add a table and talk yourself through setting up a table, because I know it can be confusing. You like, how many rows, how many columns? I don't know. I don't know what I need. What do I need? I'm going to do the whole thing and delete what I don't need. Let's think this thing through, okay? 9 times out of 10, you're going to have something here and you're going to have some text here. So I automatically just come down here because I know that I'm going to have maybe the goal and maybe the day that he did the goal. let's say that we're going to do it on a weekly basis. Okay. So that's going to be a blank because you're going to need that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Gotcha. And then you're going to talk about the goals that he has. Okay. And you can do a separate table, or you could do one table. You could do one table just for math and one table just for reading, or you can add it together. It doesn't matter. Okay. That's our math goal 1, math goal 2, math goal 3, and then reading 1 and reading 2. Click that. There's my table. I think it's something wrong with my mouse. I use it too much, guys. I use it too much. Okay. So here is my table. All right. And like I said, on this day, this will be our Monday, our Tuesday, our Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This will help you keep up with your goals and the day that you did it, and maybe the activity you did. What I used to do when I was at the middle school and they had goals, I would always utilize iExcel. With iExcel, when you go to iExcel, there's a link, a URL link that takes you directly to different goals that the kid might have. That's going to be another video that I'll do, utilizing iExcel to be able to keep up with the actual growth of a student. But in this box, you can put down the day that you worked on it and maybe what the child did. What did they do? What did they not do? You know? So here we go. This is for the math 1 goal. You don't have to write that entire goal all the way out. You don't. But if you need to be able to remember what that goal is, then you can. But it's right here. Yep. Math 1 goal. Got it? So then we got our math 2 goal. We have our math 3 goal. Right here, we'll have our reading 1 goal. Right here, we'll have our reading 2 goal. And then we're going to talk about what we worked on that week. If you had to build a schedule so that you can establish small groups, this will keep you organized because you already know what they need to do. Okay. So maybe we're going to divide this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 goals and we have 5 days. Maybe we want to work on each one each day. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. So right here, maybe you're going to say that here is when he worked on that math goal. And what did he get? If he had 50 out of 100 questions, then you will put that, or you could just say 50% accuracy. It doesn't matter. Whichever numbers or the way that you need to put it, it does not matter. If the goal says that Johnny will be, or James will be able to solve multiple step problems with 50% accuracy, then that is what I will put. I will put his accuracy. And maybe the goal is for 50% accuracy. So that means that Johnny isn't doing it at 50% accuracy in the beginning. Maybe he's at 25%. Maybe he's at 5%. And every week that you look at this, you will be able to see his growth. Love it. You will also be able to take this data and put it on a Google Sheet that would then be able to build a chart. So when you go to the meetings and they're like, well, he's great in math. He never messes up for me. Let me see your data. You have your data. You have some support and some evidence, a visual. They love visuals at meetings. You will have a visual that will let them know and see what they're doing. If you're doing iExcel, let's say that on Tuesday, we're doing our math goal, or you want to switch it up so that the child don't get overwhelmed. Maybe math on Monday, reading on Tuesday. So here we did our reading 1. Let's say that he did a Common Core worksheet, right? His Common Core worksheet dealt with textual evidence. His goal might says that James will be able to utilize textual evidence to solve comprehension questions with 75% accuracy, or 80% accuracy, or 90% accuracy. It doesn't matter. It depends on your child and that goal. So let's say that I gave him a test and he had some questions on it. And on his questions, he was able to, let me do a pause. Can I do a pause? Okay, so we're back. Okay, so back to what we're saying. Let's say that I got a Common Core worksheet, right? The Common Core worksheet had 10 questions and James was able to make a 40 on it. So I'm going to give him a 40% accuracy. At this time on this Tuesday, he made a 40% accuracy. Hopefully, when you come back and look at this, maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks, maybe it's then jumped to 50% accuracy. Maybe it's only jumped to 45, or maybe he didn't have any progress at all. But if he had the slightest progress in any goal, he made progress, and you should pat yourself on the back for that. Okay. All right. So every day that we worked on it, this tells me that I worked on his math goal on Monday. I worked on his reading goal on Tuesday. I worked on another math goal right here. Let's say that he did something here and he did a 20 out of 100. All right. So then here again, we're working on another reading goal. Let's say that he did 80%, because sometimes we have children that have goals that they can accomplish, and someone was just too lazy to change those goals the first year before that or the year prior. So you're going to see that. Now it is time for you to take it upon yourself to go ahead and move that child up. Okay, he's accomplished that goal. Now, what's the next goal? Are we going to just take away that reading goal and not give him another goal? Or are we going to actually see where else is he struggling? Okay. You can do that by giving the children a reading test or any type of assessment to see what they need. I used to use the Brigant reading book, the reading exam assessment tool. It is amazing because I can see what grade level they're on and what they're struggling with. I love that. You can also do a MobyMax placement test for reading, and that will let you know exactly what your child needs or what your student needs. It tells you all their strengths and all their weaknesses. So if you don't listen to anything else I tell you today, know that iExcel and MobyMax are great tools to use to keep up with data. If your school offers that, use it. Please use it. It will save you so much headache, because this year my school does not offer that and I'm having to do it on my own. It's costly, but I know that if I want to be able to show my parents and my team what I truly know about my child, then it's worth it in the end. Okay. So this right here deals with goals. Right here, I'm just going to write down that this is the goals for this year so that I'll know exactly what I'm looking at when I go to Google Drive. See? Goals. I got it. When you go and add, if you want to go and add sheets, that would help you to keep up with your data. Okay. You can put all the goals. Like if you have 5 students that have the same goal, you can put them on the same sheet. No, you're not going to print this out for admin. No, you're not going to present that in a meeting, but that will help you to be able to keep all of that one goal in one place. Okay. I hope that this was able to help you out. I hope you were able to grasp something from this. If there is something else that you might want to talk about, something else that you might need help with, any questions, comments, something that you want to know about Google or Google Drive or Google Suites, and you want to know how you can utilize this in your day-to-day routine, just hit us up. Leave a comment down below and we will be sure to get back with you. It's a pleasure, and I thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed and got something out of this activity today. So I look forward to making another video with you guys. Bye.